So you wanna be a picture book writer, then you gotta write picture books. And you're gonna need a bucket load of bright ideas for titles, plots, and hooks. If you're partial to prose or you're raring to rhyme, then repeat after me, it's a challenge, but I'm gonna tackle each story 1 month at a time with 12 by 12.
I'm a little bit of an organizational freak. I have a very elaborate Airtable where I track all of my submissions across all of my clients. So that way I can see, oh, one client already has a project out with X editor, and it involves a lot of like Control F to try and search and make sure I'm not overlapping. There's a very specific date tracking, like when this project goes on submission, did they confirm receipt? When did I do the first check-in? When is the next check-in due? So I have everything very planned and scheduled as much as I can, because it's a very busy job. There's a lot of emails, a lot of moving parts. And I find if I don't have everything plotted out like that, then it can just go to the back of my mind and I'm not as cognizant of, oh, it's been 2 weeks. What? Like, how is it already almost the end of January? I don't know. And then in terms of editor wish lists and what editors are looking for, at ABLA, we are a very collaborative agency. And I know this is not the case for every agency, but we share notes on editors. So if someone has a call with an editor, they will type up notes and it will go into a database that we all have access to, and we can read and see what different agents are reporting from different editors. And it's an invaluable resource, and we all contribute very equally. So it feels like there's always good, fresh information.
Wow, that's incredible. And I want to point out, for those of you who are seeking representation right now, because one of the questions in the queue is, how do you know if an agent is the right fit for you? And people have things that they're looking for, like, I want an agent who's editorial, and I want an agent who is communicative in a certain way or whatever. And my bailiwick is always, what are the connections that they have in the industry, and can they sell books? Because if you can have a very well-meaning agent who knows a whole lot about books and about editing and so on, but if they don't know the editor, if they don't have connections, they don't know the editors, and they're not keeping up with the market, they'll have a harder time selling books. I just wanted to point it out because it's so important, if not the most important thing that you have to ask an agent. But I'm curious, what would you tell authors seeking representation? What would you say are the most important things that they should consider?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's really important to have a call where you can ask all these questions. So if an agent is not willing to even answer questions like this, big red flag. They are working with you to shape your career. So there's this idea that agents have all this power. And it is true that historically there's been like a superstar agent. I don't operate that way, and I try as much as I can to kind of dismantle this source of like power structure, because my work would not exist without writers writing their work. And so like, actually, you have the power because my livelihood depends on your creations. I do understand that because of like the querying process, it can feel disjointed, but I would encourage people who are writing to feel like they have a voice and they can ask anything. And if an agent is not willing to listen to your questions, like, run. I think also making sure that the agent is going to communicate in the way that you have expectations about, and they're going to give you the transparency that you desire. My clients all have a different range of what they can tolerate in terms of information from editors, but I am always happy to give them every little detail or crumb of information, whether that's getting their input on submission lists or pitches, responses from editors. And I know not every agent operates in the same way. And so it's up to you to make sure that you're probing the agent to make sure that they're operating in a way that you want. Because there's really no right or wrong answer about communication. If you don't want to hear that stuff and you work with an agent that doesn't share it, that's fine. But if you want to know everything, then you need to find an agent that's open to being that level of transparent. And then I think also making sure that an agent reps everything that you're doing and that they're able to foster you for a career if that's what your goals are. And making sure that agent has a vision for not just this one book, but what are the other types of books that you want to write, if it's nonfiction, but also fiction, and also early readers and novels and all the things, making sure that's really clear up front, because I know some people get into some tricky situations, especially with picture books. Like maybe they sign with someone for a novel, but then they want to write picture books, but their agent doesn't do picture books. And then it can just get complicated because maybe you have to get two agents, and which can be fine. It's an option, but just having all those conversations up front makes it less surprising down the line.
Great. Thank you. Okay. One thing that I know is top of mind for picture book authors who don't also illustrate is there still hope? What would you say about the market, whether it's getting an agent or selling a manuscript? Is there really a preference for author illustrators?
I think it depends on the agent and the editor. I have some editors that really want to actually pair a vision for the art with the text. And so it's actually a benefit to just have text. Part of what makes picture books so compelling is oftentimes that text and pictures can be telling the narrative in different ways, or could be even telling a different type of narrative. If there's a little tiny Easter egg that's running in the corner of a picture that's not included in the text, but it's like something really fun and extra. And I think sometimes you don't necessarily always get that outsider perspective if you're working with an author illustrator, because the story is so close to them throughout the whole process. Now it can create its own beautiful thing, but just in terms of this question, I think absolutely there's still hope, and people are still actively looking for author only projects. I would say just keep working, have a good sense of the market. I think knowing what agents are specifically looking for in queries and using that as your query project versus like maybe something that is less favorable in the market, but you still have in your portfolio as like a good sample of writing, and just being about that.
Together, so never you fear. It's a handy little way to help you kick into gear. You're amazing, exciting. Look out, 'cause you're writing 12 by 12. 12 manuscripts. 12 by 12. 12 picture books. 12